And if you always want to look and talk to her.
Right, it's like you're talking to me. Forget about the cameras. Okay? And just be yourself.
Okay.
Just your wonderful, pleasant self.
I hope we have one.
There you go. So I'm rolling whenever you're ready.
Okay,
Cheers.
Dave, we're going to ask you this hard question first. Tell me your name and where you're from.
Okay, my name is David Post Jones. I was born October 29th, 1928, and I was born in West Hartford, Connecticut. And we've lived in West Hartford and Southport, Connecticut, and New Hampshire on a lake in Leominster, and also down in Florida in Oldsmar, in a lovely house on the 7th green of the course at East Lake Woodlands.
East Lake Woodlands, man.
And now we're at Harbor Chase, lovely Harbor Chase here in Plano.
Okay, all right. And Anne, will you introduce yourself now?
I'm from Southport, Connecticut, and I'm the daughter of Arthur Jennings and his wife. And I've had a happy life.
Very happy.
I like sailing. I do a lot of sailing. I've dragged Dave along with me
Yeah, the Spinnaker, right.
on the Spinnaker.
Yeah,
We have a full,
a lot of tennis.
lots of ideas. I play a lot of tennis too. I like to ski in the winter. It's been a good life.
And you went to Wells College.
I went to Wells College up in Aurora, New York.
Cornell, where we met.
Cornell, where we met.
University.
Dave came from Cornell, and I went from a lady's place.
Okay, so who wants to explain how you met?
How did we meet?
I think I better.
You'll do that.
I better. Okay, my roommate at Cornell had a blind date with her, Pete Cheney, and up at Wells College in my second year at Cornell, and she was a junior. Ann was a junior at Wells College, and he said, "This gal's from Connecticut, and she's very lovely, and I've got a." Well, anyway, she was from Connecticut, and he thought we'd fit perfectly, and we did, and I met her, and we started dating, and then that summer I worked at Arthur D. Little in Boston, was down in Southport, Connecticut, and we dated and went to the Shakespeare Theater in Stratford, Connecticut, and then she came up for football games at Cornell, and then I went to New York and was working at McGraw-Hill, the publishing company, and living with a bunch of guys in Harlem, and we had a great time. And I used to go out on weekends and see her. And then gradually we got to know each other very well, and I fell in love madly with her, and ended up marrying her. And we had a big wedding in Southport, about 200.
Only
at the
200.
Country Club, and yeah, it was very exciting. And then we went to the Biltmore Hotel after the wedding, and then down to Bermuda.
Bermuda.
At the reefs in Bermuda for our honeymoon, and then came back, and we moved to. At that time, I was working at E.W. Axe up in Tarrytown, New York, a investment firm, and he ran the. He'd been forming the chief economist at AT&T.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there,
Yeah, okay.
because I wanna go back a little.
All right, yeah, okay.
Okay, let's go back to that, it was a blind date.
Blind date.
Okay.
Right.
Dave, tell me, what were your first thoughts when you saw Anne?
A blind
Very
date.
lovely gal, very attractive, and very lovely. And she was from Connecticut, my home state, and we had a lot in common. And actually, when I was a young lad, my dad and I went down to a baseball game in New York. We went to the Brooklyn Dodgers in the afternoon, and then the Giants doubleheader up at Polo Grounds. And then coming back, we drove into. My grandfather was a Methodist minister in Southport, where she lived, and so Dad showed me the house and where they lived, and then we drove by Ann's house. At that time, I didn't know she lived there, and he pointed out the house on the harbor. The family had a lovely house on the harbor.
On the water.
Overlooking the harbor, the best house in Southport, and, gorgeous. And I looked at it, and I think there may have been a little girl playing out there, but I didn't know at the time she was going to be my wife. And then we went back, and I must have been about 12 or 14 at that time. And we went back to Hartford, and I didn't know, and then that she was my future wife. And so then from then we continued. She came up for football games at Cornell, and we dated. And then I saw her during the summertime, and then we got married June 29th, 1957, and we've been married 61 years as of
Just a few years.
yesterday. And it's been an exciting 61 years. A lot of events and a lot of successes.
And do you remember that first date?
It was an interesting first date.
How was it?
Very nice. I was happy to meet him. I look forward to meeting him again. And a lot developed since then.
What did you think when you first saw him?
He looked like a nice guy. I could put up with him.
When did you fall in love?
The minute I saw him.
Really?
So it was a good chance.
Yeah, it was a good match.
I got rid of my old boyfriends and went for this boyfriend.
Yeah. She gone to Princeton a lot. With a roommate. They'd gone
Roommate.
to Princeton. And, yeah, so.
Then you all, at some point, have this beautiful place in Connecticut. When did you purchase that? Or when did you have that?
We had that for 45 years, raised our family there. It's a 2.1 acre estate with a large swimming pool. I could have put a tennis court in there. I put a pool house in there.
It's a lovely place.
It was a lovely house on a hill just above the harbor. And
See the sun go down.
yeah, and we had to finally sell it because going to the second floor was a real problem. When my knees went on me, I'd been in a lot of athletics in college. I played soccer, tennis, and squash, Division I, and then I went in the 82nd Airborne with the CIA. And first I went with the CIA and went through intelligence training, and then went down to Fort Benning, Georgia, for guerrilla warfare training with the Army and CIA, and made 5 jumps, and getting prepared for the 82nd Airborne. I think that also added to my problems in my knees. But it was a terrific experience. We went through complete guerrilla warfare training and fired all types of rifles, Tokarevs, Thompson submachine guns, 45s, hand grenades, bayonet training, and the whole tactical training. And I was with 50 wonderful guys. One of the fellows there was a fellow by the name of from Choate in Yale. He'd been a terrific athlete, and Downey, Jack Downey, and he was the first man they selected to go into China, and he was dropped in, and the plane was shot down. The 2 fellows, other men on the plane, were killed, but he survived. But he ended up spending 23 and a half years in solitary confinement in China. And finally, President Nixon and Kissinger went over, and that was when Nixon started opening up China to the United States, and they finally got Jack out of there. And the CIA has the most outstanding medal of anybody serving in the CIA. It's named after Jack Downey for his 23 and a half years of imprisonment. And I don't think any other prisoner of war has ever served 23 and a half years and survived. Jack came back and married a Chinese girl and then after Yale he went to Harvard Law School and became Attorney General of the state of Connecticut. And he died last year, and I never saw him again, but he was a terrific guy.
That was sad.
He had the 5th bunk down from me in the barracks, and we were in the old German prisoner of war officers' barracks in Benning.
What were your, I'm going to go back to feelings now.
Correct.
You know,
I'm sorry.
when you were 82nd Airborne in
Right.
CIA.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about how it felt to have that role, those roles.
Well, it was interesting going through the training at the CIA. We were exposed to various operations they had and training. Some were good, some were nefarious. And also down at Benning, it was physical and exhausting and challenging. And jumping out of an airplane is an experience that I can't describe. It's something that
Not very
a
pleasant.
person has to be set the Army is smart. They get you oriented with other men of the same attitude, and you're bonded as a group. And so as a result, when you have a string in an airplane of 60 men, everybody's going out. And the sergeant gets you going, and you're going to go out together as a group. Nobody's going to squelch, and they're wonderful guys. All of us were bonded, and it was quite an experience.
What year were you 82nd? What years?
I'm sorry.
What years were you 82nd?
For 2 years there. Yeah.
How old were you?
Well, I was 21. Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Do you remember? Okay, so what years would that have been?
That would have been 41 to 43. Yeah. I'm 51 to 53. Yeah.
Okay.
Right out of college. Yeah.
Okay.
I went down in June after I graduated from Wesleyan.
Okay.
Wesleyan
Okay.
with an AB degree. 51.
Is it okay if I ask Ann a question now?
Sure. Go ahead.
I hope I have an answer.
What are you most proud of in your life?
That I'm alive. Proud to be alive.
Your children.
I like singing. I like sailing in sailboats.
Your children.
And I have children. I have my lovely children. And I found my wonderful husband. Are there any other questions you have in mind?
Just whatever you're thinking. Tell me a little about your the time when you all were first married. What was that like?
When I first was married, was I married at that time or just thinking about marrying him?
Both.
Both. I thought he looked like a nice guy, so I figured I'd like to marry him. It became a very nice marriage. We've had a very good time with 2 lovely children. And we've had a lot on my minds. What am I forgetting about, Dave?
The children have been very successful. Our daughter went to Wesleyan also and MIT and met her husband there who'd gone to Princeton, Stanford, and MIT and she worked for Pfizer as a marketing manager for 8 years and then went down. When he went with McKinsey and became a partner at McKinsey after he got out of MIT. And then he was selected as executive vice president of MBNA, the big credit card company, which they sold out 10 years later for $38 billion to Bank of America. And she went down with him as a senior vice president. He became executive vice president of MBNA. And then they moved to Delaware from New York. And they were there for a while. And then he moved out to Plano, Texas, as head of their computer operation. And that's how we're out here because she brought the children out from Delaware, Wilmington, and they've been living here, and that's why we're here, because she lives here with the 3 girls, and we moved from Florida here to be with her. And
You are obviously very proud of your daughter.
yeah, she's very brilliant. Yeah,
Very brilliant.
She's very sharp, good athlete. And our son is a
Good horseback
wonderful
rider.
guy, and he also went to Wesleyan. He worked for the government for 30 years, and human resources, and he was with a consulting firm, and now he's in retailing in Baltimore or in Washington D.C.
So your children, why are you proud of them?
They're much too
Well,
good not to
they've
be
been able
proud
take
of.
care of themselves. They have our son has 2 wonderful granddaughters, very attractive. One's going to teach English in Poland for 2 years, starting in September, on the Czech-German border, and his youngest is managing a health club and also doing public relations and babysitting, and she just graduated from college. The oldest one, the youngest one, has still got another year. And my daughter's 3 daughters, the oldest just graduated from Brandeis University in Boston and is going to be working for Liberty Mutual Life Insurance Company in Boston as a financial analyst in their treasury department there as a trainee. And then her middle child is at the University of Texas, mechanical engineering, and she's a junior here, doing very well. And she's taking a physics course this summer. And then the youngest is at the Plano West High School, playing soccer and doing very well, and she's a senior, and she'll be looking for college this coming fall.
You have a fabulous memory about all these details.
He does. I wouldn't remember them all.
They're great
That's
kids.
good.
They're very attractive. I wish I had a grandson, but maybe the 5 daughters will produce grandsons. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, we like the
When you
daughters.
see your family, when they visit, or when you go visit them, how do you feel?
We're happy to be with them.
Happy to be with them. We enjoy athletics and playing tennis together. We play a lot of tennis.
Lots of
doubles,
tennis.
And swim and go up to the cottage and go to the plays, summer theater up there, and go out to
We had a
eat.
wonderful life.
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
Very good.
Excellent. Wonderful. Yeah, it really makes life,
We've had a good life.
fulfills our life and makes it well worth living. Yeah.
What do you think about this place where you're living?
Fantastic.
We enjoy it.
Lovely place.
Very nice.
Yeah, the management, Heather, and the managers and Jenny are terrific, and
We have many new friends
it's well
here.
run. We have a lot of new friends, and it's really lovely here in our facilities, and the activities are great, and we've met a lot of new friends, and it's wonderful to be here.
How does it feel to be Texans?
Texans.
It's challenging, interesting. From New England, it's a different culture, but exciting, and
We're here.
it's great. Yes.
Okay. What else, Stephanie? What am I missing here?
I think it might be nice to say the names of the grandchildren.
The grandchildren.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Who wants to do that?
You do that, Dave. The
Okay.
grandchildren.
All right. My son, our oldest child, has a granddaughter. Her name is Madeline, and she's 23, and she'll be teaching in Poland English for 2 years. And the next one of his is Jenny, and she's 21, and she's managing a health club, and still a senior year in college. And my daughter's 3 children are, the oldest is Sarah, and she just graduated from Brandeis University, and she'll be working for Liberty Mutual.
Oh
in
yeah,
their
very
finance
good. She's
department,
excellent.
and living in Harvard Square in Cambridge, Mass. And the second one is Julia, and she's a junior at the University of Texas in mechanical engineering and doing very well. And the last one is Olivia, who is
She's a
18,
cute girl.
and she'll be a senior at Plano West High School and playing soccer and doing well.
We've had a full life.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hope to continue it.
If you had to leave a legacy message for your children, what would it be?
Live a healthy,
Happy.
productive, happy life. Manage,
Look over here at me.
manage their life.
Look over here.
Manage-
Let's start that over.
All right.
If you were to leave a legacy message for your family, what would that be?
I would say live a productive, wonderful, creative life, contributing to society to the best of your ability. Manage your finances and life and children and grandchildren well, and do the best you can for humanity.
Do the best you can for what?
For humanity and for United States of America.
We've had a full life.
Yes.
And if you were to leave a legacy message, what would that be?
Live your life and be happy. Enjoy all the things you love to do and continue it. Never give up.
Dave, you said for humanity. What have you done over your lifetime that you're proud of in terms of giving back to humanity?
All right. Art collecting, I collected Winslow Homers, over 100, and gave them to the museums in Connecticut. I also had a tool collection that I gave to a museums near our cottage up in New Hampshire. To my university, Wesleyan, I gave a large sum of money for women's athletics. Women's athletics were coming in about 1970, and I set up a fund there where all our Wesleyan women's athletes receive a watch, first time winners, and second time winners a clock. And this year, Eunice Chung was the Honda Outstanding Woman Athlete in the United States for Division III, and she's won the Jones Award, which I gave in memory of my mother back 40 years ago, and over 600 women graduated from Wesleyan have gotten the athletic award for women. And so that was when women's athletics were just coming on before
That was very good.
Chapter 9.
What's the full name of the award?
The Wesleyan Jones Women's Athletic Award for Outstanding Performance.
Okay. Does it have your mother's name on
Yes,
it too?
yes, and it's a big plaque on the gymnasium.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
$23 million gymnasium. Yeah,
Wow.
yes, nice.
We've had a happy life.
Yeah, we've had a good life. Yeah, it's been
I
exciting.
have hearing your story is a very interesting life. But thinking about challenges, you know, if you can tell me one of the challenges that you have faced and how you overcome those challenges.
Yes, we all have disappointments in life. I think you have to persist and move on whenever you have disappointments, and forget whatever challenge you encountered that was disappointing, and the next experience will be better. And I found that with each year, life improved, and I was able to do more wonderful things.
What words of wisdom do you have for people who are dealing with challenges right now, or what do you tell your grandchildren when they face a challenge?
Turn to religion if you can, if you want, for help. Pick out your own, whatever religion you want. Stay with your family. Family is the most important thing in life you can have. That's very key. And your health is very important. And finding a good wife or husband to live the rest of your life with and have wonderful children.
Lot to look forward to.
How do you all have fun here?
How do we have fun here? Well, you want to. What's your favorite thing here?
I don't know, you can think about it.
Well, I enjoy playing poker here, Texas Hold'em, bingo. Let's see, the movies here. We've organized a group going out to see Kiss Me Kate down at Garland. We go out to eat for lunch. The men go out, the women go out, then we go out co-ed eating out. We have activities here every afternoon. There's the bar at 4 o'clock in the afternoon where we all mix, and I have a bridge group. I've organized bridge here, and we all play bridge. A group of us have a lot of fun, and it's interesting. There's 3 or 4 others that were in, 2 or 3 others that were in the 82nd, 101st Airborne that I bonded with, and our driver too was in the 101st. So I've gotten to know them. They're great guys. And,
You have a lot of happy memories.
We bonded and have a lot in common, yeah.
There's a lot of pride in being 82nd, right?
I'm sorry?
There's a lot of pride in being 82nd and 101st.
That's right. The Marines in the 82nd, 101st are the spearhead of the Army when they run a tough duty, yeah.
First in.
That's right, first in.
I'm
It's
just
tough.
wondering,
D-Day.
you know, with time, everything has changed. How do you see the world and the society when you were growing up compared to today?
There's been terrific changes, yeah, of course, and we all adjust. It's had to happen. It should have happened earlier. I'm glad it has, and it's some wonderful things that are happening, and I hope it progresses even further.
What do you mean specifically?
Specifically, the opportunities for minorities and for women. I think women should have the opportunity to get equal pay, absolutely. Women should get equal pay. Women should have their bodies of their own. The church or the government should not prevent them from having abortions. I think, let's see, what else? I'm trying to cover the field.
Have you been following like the immigration stuff?
Yeah, the immigration problem, that is a tough one. Boy, I'm only, the criminals, the bad ones that are coming, everybody else should be allowed in, but the criminals we don't want, of course, and that's my feelings. Otherwise, It shouldn't be the problem there is. And Trump can be a loose cannon. He can get out of control. There's no getting around it. You need controlling him. Yeah.
Do you all have a faith?
Yes.
Yes.
What is your faith?
Well, I was born in the Congregational faith. My grandfather was a Methodist minister and had 5 sons, and they were lucky enough to go to prep school and then Wesley and all of them. And then my mother introduced me as a child to the Congregational faith, and then I married my lovely wife, and she was Episcopalian, so I became Episcopalian. When we moved to Florida, we had very close friends down there that were Baptists. So we went to the Episcopal Church and the Baptist Church. And the Baptist was very interesting. We didn't go that often, but enough to be exposed to it. It's quite a Hollywood production, the Baptist. Very choir of 500, and the budget was, every Sunday they published a budget. It was $2 million, $2.5 million, you know, and they were always looking for money, you know. It's a big operation, big General Motors Corporation, this Baptist church down there. Very lovely church, gigantic high school and all. And I think I'm gonna look at the Methodist church here in Texas, yes.
What do you think about God? You know, how does God play a role in your life?
Not enough. I haven't really thought of it. I've been so concerned with other problems, and I should return to God. And as you get along in life, you, I think, start turning more to God and what's coming up, and you start seeking security and peace of mind by turning to your faith and seeking God and your wife and you.
You love my cat too.
And her cat, of course.
Okay, Ann, tell me about your cat.
I love my cat. It's a
loves
fuzzy
that
cat. I love my kitty cat.
What's her name?
What is her name?
Jigger.
Jigger. Big fuzzy tail.
And where'd you get your cat?
Where she came to me?
Yeah, from who? What granddaughter selected it?
Oh, my oldest granddaughter, Sarah,
Sarah selected
introduced me to the cat.
She loved you and the cat.
And I've been had fun with this cat ever since.
Very successful, yeah. She loves her cat. It's made her life here, I think. She lives with a cat. And then we have a
She
little
sleeps
dog.
with a cat.
We have a little dog in Arbor Chase here called Chase, who's a lovely little dog, and we all love him. And, we play with him. I
Cute
bonded
puppy.
with him too. So I have a cat and a dog to play with, and we all have. And
We're happy
enjoy
with our
that.
life.
Yeah. It's been a great life.
How about technology? How do you see technology affecting the life? Back then, when there were no technology at all. Nowadays, how do you see the difference?
Unbelievable. I mean, when I was a kid, you were lucky to hear the radio was the only source of entertainment. And
No
my dad
television.
listened to the Brooklyn Dodgers, and I listened with him. Then television finally came in the 50s. And then, and my crystal radio I used to listen to, I built. And then, of course, this iPhone, that's my right arm. I just can't do without it. Everybody, go to a restaurant, everybody's looking at their iPhone, and but it's terrific. I get so much out of it. I watch it too much, and
So can you
I
describe
communicate with it.
a day or your daily life without technology? How do you have fun without technology?
Without technology, well, playing Texas Hold'em poker and going to the movies, watching television. Now TCM is terrific. They have great old movies. And as a kid, we went Saturday night or Saturday afternoons to the movies, and that was our main source of entertainment. And my mother thought, since I was a little smaller as a kid, that I should be toughened up. So she sent me to the YMCA. And while at the Y, I met a guy by the name of Mike Zdarsky. And he and I bonded, and and they threw us in the ring. So we were boxing, and he and I used to go at it. In boxing, we'd bloody each other's noses and get madder and madder, you know, and we were going at it fighting. And then after fighting in the Y for a couple of rounds, we'd hug and break and take a shower and go down to the Y and have a cafeteria lunch, and then go and see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs back in 1939 when I was 11 years old. And then I went up to prep school at Lawrenceville and Westminster and Wesleyan and Cornell. But
Do you watch movies on your iPhone?
I haven't as much. I usually, at night before going to bed, I'll watch TCM. The great old movies like Music Man and Dr. Zhivago, which are terrific. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy that. And my wife and I watch the news at night after supper. We go down in the main room there, and the big screen.
Watch
It's
the
nice
news.
to have a big room because our little rooms are small, and it's nice from 7 o'clock to 9.
Having
Watch the
been through
news.
so much, what words of wisdom would you have for your grandchildren?
Grandchildren.
Yeah. What would you say, dear?
What would you say? I love my
Love-
grandchildren.
Love your neighbors, your friends. Never give up. You're going to face a lot of adversity, but you've got to survive it and move on. Look for the silver lining coming up. There's going to be some. Keep plugging and look for the good things in life. Look for friendship and love and your children that'll be keeping you company and bond with your family. That's important. The family is
Very
the most
important.
important thing in life.
Is there anything that you wish that you had done, that you had, anything you hadn't done that you wish you had done?
Anything I wish I'd done. I think helping others more, getting out and helping others, the poor, and doing more. I taught school for 20 years after being an investment banker, so that I enjoyed helping others, teaching, and spreading love and affection to everyone in the community and in the family. I think is important.
Yeah, you've had a good life.
Yes, yes.
Repeat that one more time. So, your words of wisdom to your grandchildren would be no regrets. I'm sorry, it was regrets. Yeah. Anything that you didn't do in your life that you wish you'd have done?
It was helping more people, right?
Yeah.
Helping more people and solving problems in the family that we encounter from time to time. That everybody runs into in families. And suicides in the family that you have to, not in my family, but in my brother's family, a child at Harvard, brilliant boy, junior year committed suicide, and that was a shock. And my niece is still in shock over that. And she had 3 at Harvard at the same time. And the girl and the 2 boys and the middle child committed suicide. I don't know. I don't understand why the child committed suicide.
Why would they commit suicide?
He
I
had
wouldn't do
everything
that.
going for him. He was brilliant, going to Exeter and Harvard, and I don't know why he committed suicide. God, I still can't understand that. He had everything going for him. But that's how life shocks you, you know.
So you're kind of saying that one of the things that you would recommend that other people in all families do is talk more, communicate more?
Talk more. I think communication is so important. I think including Harvard Chase or anywhere else in families, you've got to communicate with people and tell them your innermost feelings and how you can improve things, and because a lot of misunderstanding causes a lot of trouble. And I think that's very important in life, communicating. That's a prime
Very
point.
true.
What would you, if you could do anything for your wife, what would that be?
Well, give her good health,
A hug and a kiss.
a hug and a kiss, and take her on trips. Go to the Caribbean again. We traveled all over the Caribbean. Went to every
That was
island
nice.
in the Caribbean practically, and we went to Tahiti and Hawaii and Europe. All
Many
over
wonderful
Europe
places.
And, South America, and we've done it all. It's been a great life,
It's been a happy life.
a happy life, that's for sure.
Very good.
If you
Yeah.
had one gift that you could give to the world, and it could be anything,
Good
what
health.
would that gift be?
Good health to everybody in the world. Get rid of AIDS and
Okay, look at me.
get rid of AIDS and cancer and
Let's
heart.
start, I'm interrupting you, I'm so sorry, so let me have you start all over so I'm not interrupting you. What, if you could do anything, what would you do?
Good health to the world. Everybody in the world improve their health and get rid of cancer and heart problems. Because I had open heart surgery 2 years ago in August, and I had a three-way bypass and a aortic valve replacement, and I fantastically survived and in great health, and had a terrific surgeon, Dr. Brinkman at Gaylord at Baylor Hospital, and
Yeah, wonderful.
it's been a great experience. And
He survived,
so I
which is
think
nice.
Your health is your most important thing. Without your health, you got problems. And I think you've got to.
You're in good shape
health.
now.
Yeah, I'm in great shape now. Feel terrific.
It's been a happy life.
Yeah, it's been a great life. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
We hope it will continue.
All right, I'm gonna go back to, the story. Oh, wait a minute. Tell me about your wedding.
The wedding?
Yes.
Your wedding, there's something happened there that you told me.
That's right, yes. The wedding, the morning, let's see, the night before we were married, our wealthy uncle had me over to his house to stay overnight in the harbor. And while there, cousin Joe put me up in his bedroom next to his house, and I fell asleep and I slept right through, and I almost slept through the wedding. So they had to wake me up and rush me to the wedding, and my wife got a big bang out of
I know, that
was
was a big
funny.
bang.
I almost
I'm
slept
glad
through
you
the
came to
wedding.
life.
I passed out. Of course,
I might have to find another
the
husband.
bachelor's party the night before didn't help, That was a wild one. It was Uncle Ted and going to the country
Uncle
club and imbibing a little too much.
Uncle Ted is
That
no
was
longer
great,
alive,
yeah. I know,
unfortunately. He
God
passed
bless him. He was
away.
a great guy. Yeah, I miss him.
My brother.
Yeah, that was funny.
Neat story. Okay, great. I can't think of anything else.
Well, we've had a pretty full life. A happy life.
And the cottage in New Hampshire, we built 40 years ago, and we went up there. My oldest friend, who I'd known since I was 2 years old, bought a cottage in New Hampshire. He and I had been looking for places to vacation for years. And he found this place up in New Hampshire on a lake, and he said, Dave,
You got to get up here.
and the way he found it, he was getting his PhD at the University of Connecticut. And in his seminar that afternoon, a woman came up to him whose husband was an airline pilot and said they wanted to sell their cottage in New Hampshire and go into Black Angus, raising Black Angus cattle. And would Dr. Harvey be interested in maybe buying their cottage up in New Hampshire? So he went up there, saw it, walked in, and it was a beautiful view of the lake and a nice little
Gorgeous.
house. And he bought it for $24,000, including all the furniture and everything else. And it was a
He was lucky.
gorgeous 3-bedroom, 2-bath cottage. And so he came back and he said, Dave, I've got a cottage up there now. Why don't you, here are the keys, go up and look at it. So I went up, and Ann and I went up, and we stayed overnight in his cottage, and there was a cottage being built down the way, 2 houses down by Edson, whose son was teaching school and he was working in the summer building the cottage. And he was building it on tree stumps, and it was just starting to build it. And I brought the realtor over to look at it, to evaluate it, and he said, gosh, Dave, don't look at that thing. It's a mess. This thing's really going to be a problem. But I said, look at that view. I mean, gosh,
The view was gorgeous.
It's a beautiful island with 4,000 acres across, not going to be developed, and it's so convenient. It's near my buddy. He said, still, forget it. And my wife says, we'll buy it.
He looked at me and I said, we'll buy it.
And we paid $32,000 or something, and now
I was there to say we'll buy
it's
it.
a lot of money, and
It was a gorgeous place.
I've renovated it, now it's 4,000 square.
It's a beautiful place.
Big extensive. But,
So you purchased it in what year?
we purchased that about 1975.
1975 for 32,000.
Yeah, I think it was about 32, yeah. And now it's probably $500,000 or $1 million, yeah.
It was well worth it. I
And,
wanted.
and what's the exact location? What is the location called?
It's 25 Nutmeg Lane. 25 Nutmeg
Beautiful
Lane
place.
in Leominster, New Hampshire, an hour from Dartmouth College.
What's the name of the town?
Leominster, Lempster, Leominster, New Hampshire.
Gorgeous place. Come visit us.
Yeah, come
I would love to.
It's a lovely place.
Let's go.
Bring your bathing suit.
Finish the editing there.
That's terrific.
Okay, all right. Tell Dave, I have a feeling that you've got some jokes. Tell me a joke.
Jokes? Oh, man. Oh,
Some
God.
jokes.
Oh, boy. Keep them clean. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
jokes?
Your family's gonna see this.
I know. Oh, boy. I wish Cy was here. Gosh. Oh, man. Jokes. I'm not good on jokes.
Okay, that's okay then.
No, sorry,
I
that's a
just thought
tough
maybe
one.
you got
I
some.
should have some funny ones, but I've got what's on my iPad, but well, those are a little risky, yeah.
All right, anything else, Stephanie, or Joel, you can think of?
Yeah.
I think we've got it. All
We've-
right.
we've had a
Thank
good
you very
life.
much.
Terrific.
Appreciate it.
Good job, yeah, good job.
Now, we're gonna edit this down.
I'm sorry?
You've got
We're
a lot.
gonna edit this down.